Hello, hello everyone. Apologies for the short delay, and welcome everyone to the continuity of our Azure Cloud Resume Challenge. This promises to be another interesting package. My name is Oluwatosi Anishere. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and a consultant at Avanade Ireland. I'm based here in Dublin. I have over a decade experience specializing in Microsoft Azure, Microsoft 365, and I'm a co-organizer for the Azure Nigerian community. I'll be moderating today's event, but before I introduce our amazing speaker, I would like you to know that last month, June 2022, the Azure Nigerian community launched an Azure Cloud Resume Challenge. And this challenge aimed to enable all our participants to be able to create, to build, and to deploy their resume to Azure using the static website features of Azure Storage Account. Now, not just that, there were also some other tools like Azure Function, Git, Azure Cosmos DB to be used for the resume challenge. Now, what that means is it's a full package for us. Now, in the past weeks, we have been able to cover the creation of Azure resources such as the Azure Group and Azure Storage Account. We have also enabled this storage account for the static website and uploaded the bulk website files to the Azure storage. Now, we did that using the Azure CLI, and we have also taken participants through on how to create the local and Git resources. The Git repository, and we have played around the GitHub actions. Now, should you miss this particular session, you still have the privilege to, refer to it on our YouTube channel. Okay. Now, I have our amazing speaker who is ready to take over. Today, Imo Etuk will be taking over this Azure challenge and speaking to us about this challenge. Now, Imo is a cloud and DevOps engineer whose experience cut across Microsoft Azure and AWS. He's a Microsoft certified trainer and one of the leaders of the Azure Nigerian community. Now, he's also AWS community builder. He lives in Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome, Himo. Hello, Himo. Can you hear me, please? Hello. Apologies. I think we have faces challenges on this side. Just bear with us, please. Okay, so in the meantime, I think we have Iman here, but in the meantime, let's just go ahead to play sponsor messages, okay, while we wait for our speaker, to come online. Thank you.
Welcome to the Pride of Symbols, a people driven by the passion for excellence and the courage to take on big challenges and see them through. With integrity of mind and systems, our words, structures, and processes are always dependable. We are proud of who we are, what we do, and what we stand for. Firm is our commitment to the vision to build a globally recognized distribution company and to become the key driver of trade revolution across Africa. We have been empowered to make products and services accessible, affordable, and usable across Africa by building an efficient distribution network and to remain the market benchmark for dynamism, efficiency, and competitiveness. We are rulers. We provide order. With confidence, enthusiasm, and wit we speak. The vulnerable and voiceless we empower. This is me. This is TD Africa. We rule. We conquer. We are Simba.
You have a learning goal, and we have just one job to help you achieve it and deliver at your convenience. Learning right starts with us at Ashem Academy. We are a learning institute in partnership with professional industry bodies like Microsoft, PECB, Pearson VUE, and PSI, delivering quality training, ensuring your certification path in the respective industries. Ashem Academy has training specialists with extensive consulting experience as well as the expertise to address your specific needs and preferences. Our goal is to deliver training that maximizes return on people and infrastructure investments. We define success as having the right resources to skill you up to help you meet your desired goals. Our job at Ashem Academy is to empower you to be successful at every stage of the learning journey, from training to certification to establishing professional credibility. As a certified learning partner and authorized testing center, our facility has proven to be one of the best in the country as we get to reach the needs of all ages, young, middle-aged, and those in the advancing years, making learning simple and affordable. We care about your skill development, and without breaking the bank, we present you with great opportunities to showcase your competency and expertise in your area of specialty, aiding career advancement or personal goals tracking. Let's help you bridge that learning gap. All you have to do is take the next step to enroll in our courses today with prices that are easy on your wallets. Request access to our training calendar by emailing training@ashem.com, and you can also get the most of your learning investment by checking out our promotional offers here. offers.ashem.com/ms learning. You can call 0704 636 7151 or call 0704 576 9927. You can visit our head office at number 9 Ibikunle Street off Abad Macaulay Way, Yaba, Lagos State.
Yeah, welcome back. And that's the messages from our sponsor. Okay, we have our speaker here and he is ready for us. He'll be taking over now. Hello, Imo.
Yeah. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Can
Good
you hear me?
afternoon. Yes, we can
Welcome
hear
to
you.
today's section. Apologies for the delay. We had some we have some delay, so we have been able to resolve that. So quickly, we are going to go into this section for today. And so far, so good. This section started in June, and we've been able to cover a lot. Okay, let me pull up my video. My video is not showing up. Okay, so I'm going to be speaking to you today. Last week we built, in some weeks ago, we built our website, our resume website to be hosted on Azure. So I'm going to pull up the sample website, which your own should be the way yours should be look like after you finish everything. Let me zoom this out. So this is hosted on Microsoft Azure. The aim of this cloud challenge is that at the end of it, every participant should have their resume hosted on Microsoft Azure storage account and will appear this way. So whenever we have a request to submit a resume to someone, you just send the link. You don't need to carry bulky document. So that's the essence, and it will serve as a project to participants. So we quickly go into today's section. We are going to look at how we can integrate apologies, let me pull out this. Integrate Azure Cdn and HTTPS, and also set up a GitHub action and workflow. The essence of this is to enable the CI/CD flow and for your code. So we quickly go into. I believe by now we must have created our resource group. We have this thing on Microsoft Azure already. So without wasting time, we are going to quickly create the Azure storage. The name is storage account. Then we have the resource group. I've already created resource group to D. My resource group is already created as new folder. So that's what we're going to use now. So resource group name is new folder. I believe you are working along with me because this is a practical section. We are not going to I have some slides to share later, but let me quickly, first of all, because of our time, we first of all go into creating this Azure storage account and keep. Then I can quickly explain what Azure CDN and GitHub action are to everybody. So with this, we have the location to be the East US, then the SKU, and the standard, locally storage. Then we have the storage time, storage version 2. We have that. So we go ahead and create it. If you cannot create your storage account through the Azure CLI, you can create that through the Azure portal. So while that is created, it's being created, you present on Azure CDN. So far, so good. Azure CDN is something that enables you to distribute and kind of deliver your web content to users. It will help you to deliver this content to the user in their closest location using H location so that they will not have traffic traffic flow. So from the slide here, we have Azure CDN is a distributed network of servers that can efficiently deliver web content to users. Important is that it will help you to add more in terms of bandwidth by taking this thing to by taking the content to the users without delay, and it will help people to cache this content publicly and make it available to Azure Storage blog, which we are going to host our website content. So it will also cache the images that are involved. So we also see the point too that Azure Cdn is enabled delivering of files faster and more reliably using servers closest to the user accessing the content. So CDN stores cache content on each servers in point of presence (POP), then locations that are close to end users to minimize latency. So Azure Content Delivery Network also offers developers global solution for rapidly delivering high bandwidth content to users by catching this content at practically less physical nodes across the world. So what this simply means is that it will help you improve performance in terms of user experience. It will not make your website to be impacted in terms of speed. Everything will go very well for your users and all that. So we move down to why do you need to integrate this into your website, build it and make it live. So the benefit is that it will improve better performance, ensure better performance and improve user experience, like I said, and also to a large extent will enable scaling to the best scaling experience to your users, and also to distribution of user requests and serving of content directly from edge servers to the users. So we move down to the next slide, which you can see the pictorial representation of Azure CDN to be like this. So we have Alice, who is the user, the end user. Then we have the point of presence that Azure CDN catch your content through. Then we have the origin where this is your website and these are other users. So what Azure CDN will do is, with this, that when we move down to this particular place, the explanation of this diagram is that Alice, who is the user, requests a file, also called an asset, by using the URL of your website. That is, in this URL to be your website, your resume website. So it will also can as well add a custom domain if so desired, but it's not compulsory, it's optional, because before you can add a custom domain, you need to pay money and purchase one domain from a third-party domain registrar like GoDaddy and Co. So I'm bringing it to Azure CDN and change your DNS server setting to that of Azure. So we have if no edge servers in the point of presence have the file in their cache, the POP requests the file from the origin server. So first of all, the CDN will move content gradually to this edge server. So when a client is making requests, all the content, the file that the client is requesting for will come from the edge server, edge location, instead of this origin, the origin, which is where the main server that stores your content. So with this, it will help deliver this content quickly, as fast as possible to the user, in this case, Alice. So we have then we have another point there. Origin server return the file to edge location. That is if Alice has placed a request, and when your DNS server is trying to request the content from the edge location and the content is not available, Azure CDN will enable you to the content quickly be fetched from the origin down to the edge server and made it available to the client. So we have that. There are a lot of things to know here, and server in the POP catches the file and return the file to the origin requester, which is Alice. The file remain cached on the edge server in the point of presence until the time to leave, specified by its HTTP headers expires. So we have additional users can then request the same file by using the same URL that Alice used. And if the TTL, if the time to leave for the file hasn't expired, the point of presence edge server return the file directly from the cache. This process will result in a faster and more responsive user experience. So that is what Azure CDN can do for you. So we quickly will move down to Github action and workflow. Because of our time, we have already lost some hours due to some technical issues. So we have GitHub Action is a continuous integration, a continuous delivery that allows you to automate your build, test, and deployment pipeline. So in this challenge, we will use workflow to deploy our static resume website to an Azure storage account. So that will be done during the demo section. So we have how this workflow work is in a diagraphical representation. Look at how it is. When you first of all, if you remember when we started, we have to create a GitHub repository. We're having our GitHub repository on GitHub. So we clone it to our local server. Guys, in this case, we forked it and go to, then you pull the request to your local server, make your changes, and push it back to the remote server. That is how it works. So that is that for now. We're going to quickly go into the demo section. And I've already had my store account created. Okay, that didn't create. Okay, let's go back. You can remove the kind, it's not compulsory. So we go back and create it. So while that is being created, let's take some time to quickly create a. We are going to quickly create the Azure Cdn on Azure portal. If you are with me, you search for front door and Cdn profiles. And if you can't find it on the dashboard, you search for using the search bar here. So like I have it already placed in this place. So all I want to do is to click on create. So once I've already have my own Cdn profile already created, but for the sake of those that are starting afresh, you need to create. Let's quickly check if the storage account the name has been taken already. Okay, and quickly modify the name. So I will add my name to it. So in that case, I think the name is available. So we go on to create that. So while that is done, and let's quickly go back to the Azure. I'm going to reduce some of this size of my text because so we are creating this. This is highlighted. So you continue to create front door. So in this case, I'm not going to create it because I've already have one here. So all I'm going to do is because Azure CDN profile can be used for several websites, but this one is already running. So I can create another endpoint. So what I need to do is to create endpoint in this case because this other endpoint that is here already been taken by one of the website that is running there. So I'll give it new CDN endpoint. So that is the name. Then the origin will be already exists. I can add one to it. That has not been existing. So the origin will be what? In this case, we are using this the static website feature of Azure Storage. So the origin will be static website. Then the host name will be your this thing. As you can see, the storage account I was creating using my local terminal has been created and has been reflected on the Azure portal. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. In this case, you have to select your own storage account will show up here because that is where the CDN will cache data from. This part, leave it be by default, don't change anything. Then enable HTTP. This enabling HTTP when it will help in encrypting your data and side secure to the client. So that is to do in this case. Then you click on add. Is adding, is creating the CDN endpoint. There are two things you have to create here. First of all, you're going to create the front door and CDN profile, then add the endpoint as I'm adding now. So those are the two things you're going to create in that place. So we have that done. So what we need to do now is to already have my own project profile on my own desktop, which is named resume resume project, which is there. So I'm going to navigate to that project folder using my own terminal, which is the desktop, and then I will now navigate to resume project. So I have this. Then on my GitHub account, I believe some of you have done all this, already created the GitHub repository and already have your resume website hosted on Azure already. But for the sake of for us to be able to make headward for today's section, we need to at least go through it once again. So we have that. So what we need to do is already a lot of us have the website, have the place to get the template of our website, which I have the last time we have this meeting. So I'm going to also pull that up so that we can show the template and build your website from is this. Okay, let me get the right link. Let me get the right link for the template. So the right link is this. The right link is this. So you can choose anyone, or you just click on the download, and it will download into your local system. So when that is done, when that is done, I've already have my own local system. So I'm not going to do anything. So I have my local repository on my system. So I'm going to first of all initialize this local repository and make it available for Git to recognize it. Git init command is what I will use there. So you go back to, I have already have my own local remote repository created. So I'll copy this. When that time comes, I'm not going to clone this one for now. So I have my own in this particular folder. I have my own project right in there. So if you go back to the desktop, my project files are there. So you are expected to download the project, the template, the free template, then rename the folder, move your files, template, move those files to a folder called front end, because we are not yet, when we work on the back end will be when we introduce the integrate Azure function and Azure Cosmos DB. That one will form a folder for back end files. For now, we are dealing with the front end alone. So you should have your files placed in a folder called front end. So we have files there. So in this case, I'm going to also navigate to, so we have the files. So what I'm going to do now is to do the git add command. So I want all our files to be pushed to GitHub repository, which is presently, it is empty file here for now. So we will have this, we'll add it first of all. So it will add all the files, all the web content files. So while that's on, I will check out this. If our endpoint are created, so let me refresh this page. Okay, that has been added, all the files have been added. So we will now commit it to our GitHub repository by using the git commit command and put initial commit. So remember that you have to download this. Maybe I should drop this as a link for the sake of those joining us new. You drop it on the chat section of the YouTube channel. So that is the link on the link has been dropped on the YouTube channel. So we have the CDN has been created, CDN endpoint. So after we have committed our files, we are going to go ahead to push it to the remote repository. What do we need to do now? We need to add the origin, remote, add origin, and then we copy the remote repository here. We copy this link and add it there. It has been added the remote. So what we need to do is to push it now to the remote repo. We're using the git push command, push origin, and the main branch. Look at it there. We are in the main branch already. Here is main branch. So there's no other branch here. Look at it. So we are in the main branch. So we will have to. Sometimes if it refuses to push because of the changes, sometimes it might refuse. So you have to add the dash A flag to force the push. So we have that. While that is being pushed, let's confirm if that is done. Okay, it's still pushing. The files are many, so it might take already 85, 89%. So the next thing we are going to do is to set up a kind of a GitHub connection with Azure storage account, and you cannot do that without having to create what is called the endpoint service connection. You have to create that so as to authorize the signing between Azure and GitHub. The connection has to be. Then you have to create the service endpoint and all that using the rollback access. So we will do that by using the command. So if you go to this place, what's it called? Under your storage account, I have my storage account here. Let's go to resource groups and see the one we just created now. It was a new folder by him. Okay, these are all where our resources are. Our resources are in this place. So what we do is that our CDN endpoint and Azure storage, they are not like in my case, they are not in the same resource group. So that's what you need to take note. If you account now, you go to data management under data storage, you have containers. By default, when you are creating a storage account, Azure will create a default container available. So I'm going to go ahead and create the container. It doesn't take time. If you can't find it on your own, you can just quickly create it. I'm going to give it a name like $sign and web and create it. So that one has been created. So we have the storage container has been created. So now let's confirm if this has been pushed. So if we go to our GitHub and refresh, we should have those files here. Now we have the front end folder. Right, if you open it, you should be able to access those files. So that has been done. So the next thing we are going to do is to set up the service connecting this GitHub and Azure. So we will do that using you need your subscription ID. Do that to access that to your subscription ID. You can use an Azure account list. So that will list out the accounts available. In my case, this is my own ID. This is my own ID. So I'm going to copy this and use it to set up my own to my connection. So that is how to do. So to do that, you use the sp command, create for rbs. Then the name of the storage account will come here. In this case, my storage account name is new storage account imo. So I'm going to set that here. New storage. So we have that. Then we are granting the role we are granting is contributor role. The person can upload files and all that to the storage. Contributor. So the scope here, you bring in your paste in your storage, your subscription ID under scope. Subscription. Then I've already copied it. I'm going to just paste that this place. So having pasted that, the storage, the resource group that having pasted that, so we have to call up the resource group. Resource group in this case, my own resource group is new folder. New folder. So we have the auth, the SDK that we're using is the auth SDK. You set it to auth SDK. So that has been done. So once you press enter, it will create the new storage account. Okay. It's not recognized. Let me see. Okay. To avoid making the mistake, I'll have to copy. Maybe there is a typo error, so I'm going to copy that and come to this. So I'm going to press enter now. Still not recognized. The storage still not recognized. Okay, in your own case, you should be able to do that by now. So in this one, since that storage account is not recognized, I'm going to go ahead and use another storage account, an existing storage account on my own. I'm going to go ahead and use an existing storage account, whether it will recognize. And that storage account name is Imo Web. So, and it is in this folder. So I'm going to go ahead and use this particular storage account name. I do not know why the other one is not recognized. I'm going to just quickly replace this. With my storage account name. So let's see. Okay, so this is the command to create the role, the scope. So let's see if we can create that on this. After you create it, because my own service connection for this particular storage account, so I'm going to put that up. This is the service connection I have already generated, the client ID, which I'm going to set up, use it to set up Azure credentials on the GitHub. I've already generated the new storage account name. So I'm going to use that same one. Let me clear this of the training. Okay, I can go out of this. Maybe the reason why it's not recognized. I'm going to go out and record that. So just a few minutes. You are calling up this connection again. Maybe it's the directory I am that made it not to recognize. So I'm going to come back here. I left my project folder. Maybe that was the problem. So the name of the storage, I can use storage. This is the and the subscription ID is there, and my folder is new folder. Sorry. Oh, the resource group might be the issue. So new folder. Okay, it's creating now. So maybe I wasn't in the right tree before. I left the project directory. That is created. That's been created. So what you need to copy this down to paste it on your notepad somewhere because you are going to require it to use it here. Go to your remote repository under GitHub in GitHub and create the under here. Go to settings first. Under the repository, go to settings. Okay, we are here now. So there should be settings. Okay, this thing is somehow large. So the setting option is covered. So if you go to setting here, please let me know if you have any question on for me. So we have let me know if you have any question, please. So now I am on the setting section of my GitHub repository. I will go ahead and do and go to secret. Under secret, there is action here. Under this action, you are going to click it and look at new repository secret. Then what you are going to do now is to under this place, the name should be Azure Credential, Azure underscore credentials. And write them in capital letter. Credential. Then you paste this token that you generated here. Paste it into this value field. Once that is done, you click on add. And the secret has been added. So now what else do you need to do is to go to click on the action tab, set up a workflow yourself. So in this case, we are going to set it up by ourselves. So you have that. Under this is the YAML file, the template for the YAML file. We are going to define our YAML file. So in this case, we are going to clear up all these things. Maybe the branch we are pushing it to is the main branch. The branch we are fetching this data from is the main branch. So for now, there might not be pushed any pull request, but in case you need it, you can leave it. But for the purpose of today, I'm not going to leave that pull request for now, since I'm not collaborating with anybody on this particular project. But for your own main project, you can leave that. So now what you're going to do is that you take note of we have our Azure Cdn on the portal already. I'm going to go out of this place. Under the new folder, we have, let's confirm if the CDN is already attached to this particular Azure storage account, that to Azure CDN under security plus networking tab. So we now check it. You see that the CDN endpoint is attached. So what do we do now? We now go to, remember that we have the front door that we created, the CDN profile. My own CDN profile is in this case, I'll pull up the name. So we have in our GitHub repository to define this file. You use, I've already defined that on this place. So I'm just going to pull up the file and paste it here, because if you type it, it might not get indentation correctly. So it's best that you define the file somewhere. If even this one has a bad indentation, so I have to manually try and say, okay, it works now. So where we are deploying, where we are running this website from is Ubuntu latest, that is operating the OS. Then we have the actions is that you check out, then log into Azure, able to grant, then using the secret that we created, Azure credentials. So it will upload this file to Azure Blob Storage. For now, if you look at our storage is empty. The storage container we have here is empty. So that is it. So we have this, in this, my own Azure CDN endpoint is, the profile name is Imol CDN profile. Then we have the endpoint name has changed to something else. It's no longer this, but this. You click it, it's this one that I should put there. So you copy this. Once you copy this, you go to place and replace that. You have that replaced. Okay. So the resource group that my Azure, that my CDN profile is located, though it's different from the one that the CDN endpoint is located, is my folder. So I'm going to leave that and see if it will run. But for Azure storage account, the storage account name is new storage SCCT. You can use any name that's suitable for you. So destination is our storage container that we created earlier, which is a web. So you have to put it here. Then source, we are actually uploading this file to Azure from the front end folder on the GitHub repo. So that's why this place you have to specify the source as front end or any folder, the name of the folder that you put. That's where you should specify there. So after this, you just have to go ahead and commit the changes. You can just say this one, commit message should be created America. Any message that you find is there. Then you are committing it to the main branch. So you now start committing. So now the GitHub the workflow will bring in this main or YAML file into your workflow. Look at the location, which will appear .github/workflows. So if you go back to action, you see your build is currently being built, is in progress. So you can click it to see how it is going. If you click the build, you should be able to see the set of step that is using. It's uploading the file now. It has passed successfully logged in to Azure. So it's now on this stage. Now, let's see if we have any. Okay, it is uploading already. So the CDN has issue. I know why this issue might come across is that maybe because of the resource group. Let's see something. Resource group folder, my folder. The endpoint cannot be found in that. So that is the error here. That is why you cannot see, you cannot build this thing. But that doesn't mean that our file have not been uploaded. to Azure storage account. If you go to the storage account, click it now. You click that, and under storage container, if you open this container now, we have our files here. So now, how do you access the endpoint for your website? If you go to static website, look for data management under data management, static website. You have to enable it anyway. This name is, I forgot that, apologies, that is supposed to be enabled anyway. So you have remember to enable the storage account for static website. So this one you can put 404.html. So we have that saved. Once you save it, you now have the endpoint here. So you can copy this endpoint and go to visit it and see if the website is disabled. We're supposed to access our website. Let me refresh this. So that is how this one is because so it is advisable that when you are creating your CDN endpoint and the endpoint CDN Azure CDN profile and the endpoint, you should put them in the same resource group, because that in that case you won't have to face some challenges trying to your Github workflow. So let's refresh this and see what happens. You see now we have the website now. We have the template now. This template is this website is simply running from the storage account. So you can go ahead on your own local repository. You can open that code with your favorite editor by going to navigate back. I will navigate back to my own this thing, project folder. So when you are here, you just use code space dot. Then you open this file in your favorite editor on your system. So once that is open, you have it here. All you need to do is to make to your website. If you make changes now, let's say edit the name here, select your name. You just save changes, and after that you have to add it again and commit the file. Remember, for every changes you make, you have to add and commit it, then push it to Git. So we have that now. We push it to the default repository. So in this place, you can go back to the file, to the job that we just run. We go back to the GitHub action. You see your action. You can edit this file, workflow file. So if you face issue like this, note the place that you're having issue. So in this case, what's it called? Resource group, that the CDN profile and pro are supposed to be in this resource group. So in this case, because of our time, I'll quickly use the existing this thing, but they are not in the resource group. So you can move your resources to the same resource group in your own case, or you create them in the same resource group. Once you do that, will be done. So in our next section for this particular challenge, we have been able to see how we can set up the digital workflow. After this today, we are going to add the Azure function that will trigger the visitors count to your website. It will be counting how many people have visited, and the data will be stored to Azure Cosmos DB. The trigger will be stored to Azure Cosmos DB. We are going to also see how to set that up in the next section of this challenge. So on your own, because this is a challenge, you are supposed to build something on your own, and we have a Slack channel that you can show us your work. You are not understanding. You can always pull up the okay, this is where I am stuck, so we'll now put it through. So that is the essence of the challenge. It's not that we're going to build everything from the scratch for you. So what you need to do, at least the step now, is that we have been able to set up the GitHub connection and define the workflow and all that. So you see how it works. You have been able to understand how Azure Cdn works, the endpoint and all that. So in your own time, at your own time, you have to go back and edit your code locally, then make changes to this template and make sure that you reflect what you want, and then push changes to GitHub. That's what you need to do during the week. So this is not working. So you add the F flag if you have to push changes. Most time it fails. So how ending this F flag to go. Or you see it has gone. Now if you go to GitHub, you see the changes that we make. And on a norm, if the what's it called? The workflow is supposed to that changes that we just made now. And push it directly and reflect the changes here. So let's check out something. So the changes that I made just as coming now, which is this. I'm not sure if this will reflect because the build actually failed because of that. So in your own case, you have to put in one resource group and make sure that they are all from the same source. So that you have the successful build. So that is for today. If you have, you can go ahead and draw it, or reach out to us on the Slack channel, so we will tackle the problem that you are facing. Remember that the deadline for this challenge is ending of 30th of July, and by next week we are going to see how we can integrate Azure function, Azure Cosmos DB into our existing as we have built today. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Imo. Thank you for that, amazing session. That was a solid 1 hour. I learned a lot. Although we have question, I think one of the participants
Okay.
asked if you could drop, the deck in the Slack on Slack. If you could share the slide on Slack, is this something that's possible? So that's a question for you.
Okay. Okay. Yes, the Slack will be shared on the Slack channel.
All right, great. So
yes, it's possible to share the Slack. Yes.
All right, great. That's good to know. I'm sure our participants are listening and you've been able to answer the question. So thank you very much. Thank you, everyone that is viewing. This is the end of today's session. And next time you'll be joining us, we'll be bringing in more. Like Imo said, this challenge will be ending July 30th. So it will be nice for us to participate in this challenge because I believe it's awesome. All right. So thank you all. And we can also let's enjoy this as sponsors video for now. Thank you and see you all later. Bye.
Digitization simplifies the way we collect data. Organizations collect data from multiple touchpoints to enable them to make effective, profitable, data-driven decisions. Yet, a lot of data just sits there. Why? Well, organizations operate two systems: operational or transaction systems and analytic systems. Operational systems are data repositories where you execute business processes. Analytic systems are where you make sense of your data and evaluate business processes. Analysts spend 80% of their time cleaning and preparing data to update routine reports, and only 20% of their time truly brainstorming on the numbers and extracting insight from that data. The result? Less time to ask the right questions about their data, and less time to pull variable insights that can improve your bottom line. At D. Brown Consulting, we have a better approach. We empower you to extract insights from your data at the speed of thought. We employ a curated methodology that simplifies the analytic build process to eliminate technical friction, making it easier for everyone in your organization to get the exact data they need securely. The best part? All of this can be done without relying on overburdened IT teams. D. Brown Consulting offers consultancy services in building, reporting, and analytics systems. As Microsoft Gold partners, we offer business process automation solutions with no-code and low-code applications, chatbots, and robotic process automation engines, and financial modeling services. We visualize our reports, dashboards, and analytics using the principles defined by the International Business Communication Standards, IBCS. The use of standardized notation eliminates ambiguity and ensures consistency in the design of your visualizations for more effective data storytelling. Are you looking to achieve more with your data? Contact us today. Visit dbrownconsulting.net.